All good.
Coach, you want to start with an opening statement or get right into questions?
Right into them.
Coach, first wins in conference play this season, as well as having a sweep on the road at Lake State. Just how to feel to come away with 2 wins this weekend, first 2 in this season.
Well, I should congratulate yourself too for the wins you're up there, right? It was good to see you guys there. Thanks for coming. Yeah, it was good. Obviously, it was a real good feeling for our players. We battled pretty hard. We've had a rough go trying to get wins, off it. And, you start with the Robert Morris and the Niagara. And so for our guys to go up on the road and really get those 2 wins against CCHA opponents, it's hard to get wins, period. And it's even more important when you're in league play. So I know our guys, had, enjoyed it Saturday, like I told them, enjoyed Sunday, and let's get back to work Monday.
Yeah. Offense a little bit slow to start the season, but a pretty decent amount of scoring against Lake State. All 3 goals scored. First game around the blue paint, and then game 2 kind of a little bit different, more from range. So how did you, assess the offense as a whole through the 2 games this week?
Yeah, we still got to generate a little more 5-on-5. Power play came through this weekend, which we hadn't had much luck with the power play. But what I liked about our goals, as you mentioned, is on the Friday night, a lot of blue paint battles. The 2 shots from the point came because of good net front presence and blue paint battles, off it. So if you really look at how we scored majority of our goals, it's because we're getting to the right areas, off it. And we got to continue to do that. It's going to be, challenging this weekend, again, against another in-league opponent with Bemidji, who defend well, skate well. So one of the things we've been working on is trying to generate more traffic and stagger traffic, we call it out there, where you have different layers, that you're able to look for. And then the other part when it comes to in-zone creativity and in-zone offense is your loose puck recoveries. You can't be a one-hit wonder. So anytime a shot comes, we got to be really good on getting those loose puck recoveries, which I thought Friday we were really good at, and Saturday not so much.
Yeah, last season, special teams was a little bit of a struggle at certain points in the season. This season it seems to have started strong. Just how do you gauge how well penalty kill, especially, but also power play has played early?
Yeah, it's like anything. It kind of comes and goes, the ebbs and flows. Because, again, we go through those first 4 games without a power play goal, on it. And then, you could see how important it was in this weekend. You look at the past Friday night, we win 4-1. 2 power play goals, 1 5-on-5, and 1 empty net shorthanded goal, right? The next night we win 3-1 or 3-2, 2 D goals from the point, and then 1 power play goal. So, it's you need your power play to click. You need to take advantage of other teams' penalties. Much like any sport out there, you get fouled in basketball, you got to make your free throws. In football, you get 10 yards, you got to take advantage of that type of stuff. And, we were fortunate enough to take advantage of it this weekend and score 3 goals. And our penalty kill led in 2, but I don't think it was from, poor structure or anything along that. There's a couple, the one guy there hammered the puck pretty good, hit the back of that net faster than anything, that thud. So, when you hear that from a coaching standpoint, that was a pretty hard shot. There's different sounds, we can hear out there, and that was definitely a rocket by him. But, we got to continue to try to stay out of the box and do our best to win the special team battles.
Yeah, the penalty kill playing in front of 2 goaltenders this weekend, just adding Tyler Palmer, Jacob Steinman, and with Cole, just how easy or how difficult is that decision, each week and trying to decide who's going in the net. Now that you have 3 very solid options.
Yeah, kind of going in the weekend, as I said, I went in with the mindset of giving both those guys an opportunity, off it. Cole got the first 2 games against Niagara, off it, and the start in the exhibition game against Robert Morris. And, we went through it and we thought about it. And I've said all along, just like our forwards and D, we have capable athletes to play at any time. It's to me, it's not a senior gets to play because he's a senior or junior or you're USHL or CHL player. Like, you earn your ice time. We talk about on-demand performance, like your performance will dictate your play. So we went into that, and was funny thing about it was Friday night after Palms won, I already had kind of a vision of starting Jacob Steinman Saturday, but after Palms won, of course, everyone's on our staff's like, Tyler Palmer, you got to stick with the hot goalie. He just won, but I kept going back and forth in my head, and I needed to make sure I gave everybody that opportunity to go in, off it. And I actually ended up going Jacob Steinman, off it. It worked out that both got wins, both feeling good about themselves off it. And it wasn't easy for Jacob either. Like, I think they scored 2 goals on the first 10 shots, maybe. I think it was 8 of 10 he had saved, but then he settled in and stopped the next 20 something saves for us. So, real good. We got, like I said, all along, we got Cole, Tyler, and Jacob, and 3 goals that we feel very fortunate to have with us and confident in all 3 of them.
Yeah, and then our athlete of the week this week was Jaden Grant, scored 2 goals in the first game tying, and I believe his first game winner in 2 years or somewhere around there. Just how much does he contribute to the ice, especially being present on power play, penalty kill, getting in front of blue paint as well?
Jaden just works, like I said to him last year, I give him a lot of credit because I didn't play him a lot at the beginning of the year last year. And I think a lot of it was just we had so many players. So you're trying to go through the whole process of where guys fell and where they played. But one thing with Jaden Grant was he stayed true to it. He came every day to practice, never complained, just worked. A lot of guys can learn from him because his opportunity now is really just predicated on what he did last year and his work and his compete. Hence, he's also an assistant captain of the way he goes about caring for his teammates and the team in general, right? But really just an honest player. I call him kind of a utility kind of player. You can go up and down your lineup. He can contribute in the top 6 role. He can be effective in the bottom 6 role. He can be effective in the middle. You can put him on penalty kill, kind of net front bumper on the power play. And if he's not on one of those, he doesn't complain. He's generally happy for other people's success. And I think that's what just not makes him a special hockey player, but a real special person.
Bemidji's coming off of a successful weekend in conference as well. Always been, at least recently, always a nice battle with them. What do you see from them? What have they been doing well? And, how is this a good early season conference, matchup for your team as you kind of move into the latter part of the 2025 before going to 26?
Yeah, their team is really well coached, disciplined, really good structure. Like I was saying, high compete level from them. They've kind of had a balance of a schedule where they started off and got a couple wins, and in those wins were some high scoring games, 9-2 or 6-0. So that always feels good on a weekend. Hence our start, we scored 2 goals. It didn't feel good probably. So they come back and then they get some real good battle tested there with some non-conference games. And then they have Augustana, which they win 1-0 in overtime or shootout, and then 2-1 or 3-1, the next night. So real good two wins for them, especially against a really good team in Augustana. So they're definitely coming in feeling really good about themselves, and they should. They played good hockey on the weekend, and so it's going to be a team that if we don't manage pucks properly, they can score in waves. They got skill, they got speed, they got size, they've got good goaltending. So right now, for us, it's focus on what we want to do, but also know that we can't give them freebies because they'll take advantage of that. So we got to be really diligent with the puck, having numbers, in all 3 zones, protecting the inside of the ice, not get out fishing for pucks. We got to defend hard inside the blue paint, inside the dots, and make it uncomfortable for them coming to our net.
Online folks, Peter, any questions?
Yeah. Hey, Coach.
Hi, Peter.
Congratulations on the 2 wins this past weekend. Well deserved, well earned. One of the things I've noticed, early sample size though, is your face-off percentage numbers are up pretty good over the last couple of years too. Is that a focus on not only the centerman winning the draw, but everybody else jumping in and getting those 50-50 pucks?
Yeah, face-off ready is so important to us, off it, and everyone has to be on the same page through wins and losses, and it's gotta be entrenched. You can't have 4 guys understanding what the face-off play is and 1 guy not, because again, you're probably going to lose that battle. So for us, we talk a lot, we work a lot on it. We have good pre-scouts on it. We have our staff work with centermen on face-offs, but also having the help from D and forwards as well. So that face off ready and being able to anticipate and jump in. And because that's the only part of the game, I always say, where it starts with a 50-50 true puck. As long as the linesman drops it in the even spot, right? Then it's 50-50. But that's your first time that you start from a whistle, get set, and then obviously you want to possess the puck, as much as possible.
Good. And, Friday is actually, I guess, the real season opener for you guys at home.
Mm-hmm.
How do you temper the emotion and get the boys focused?
Yeah, it's going to be, it's going to be interesting for sure. A lot of families probably in too, off it. So you're going to have first home games, bigger crowd, more excitement, mums, dads, grandma, grandpa, girlfriends, whoever, they're all coming in, right? Normally for this type of weekend. So one thing I've really stressed to our guys is you got to stick to a routine and schedule. We talked to them about trying to prepare them for life after college hockey into pro hockey, and you got to stick to that, and not get distracted. It's easy. I ever think back to when my mom and dad showed up and they're taking you out to get stuff for your dorm room or apartment, and really you should be napping or sticking to a routine, right? So that's going to be, a point of emphasis this week. There'll be plenty of time to see those that come to watch and visit, but at the same time, we have to stay true to each other and make sure that we put our best foot forward and just making sure that we're preparing ourselves properly for the weekend.
Okay, final one from me. At Bemidji against Augustana, they used Max Hildebrand in net. You should be familiar with Max with his time with Prince Albert. Is there anything you can share about him as a goalie?
I don't know. We only play him once a year out there. So he would have been young probably. You know what I mean? At that time, I don't even know if he played then, off it. Like I said, when we go Western to Eastern Conference, it's, 1 year there, 1 year back at home. So unfortunately, it's not like if you were to ask me about anyone in the U.S. division, we play them like 14 times a year. So I'd have a good feed on that. But obviously, he was Western Hockey League goalie of the year last year, right? And had a really good year. Curtis Hunter, GM, does a really good job up there as well, putting together good hockey clubs. So, he's going to come in and he's playing with a lot of confidence. He has good numbers right now, off it. So we're going to have to do our best to make it difficult for him seeing pucks and looking, to capitalize on second and third opportunities.
Great, thanks. I could keep asking questions, but I'll let you go. Good luck this weekend.
All right, thanks now.
Any more questions? All right, that concludes today's presser. Thanks, Coach.
Awesome.
Hey, Coach, you mind doing